Hello and welcome. This is episode 8 of the Planet Knit podcast. I'm your host. My name is Silvani on Ravelry. I'm Silvani_knits on Instagram. My real name is Sarah, which really doesn't help anybody because that's a really common name. Welcome, and I hope you've had a productive week. Last week I kind of rebooted the series and talked about some of the things that have been going on in my life. This week it's just been a normal week, so hopefully this will be kind of more on par with what is normally going on. I might seem a little bit different tonight or today. It's about 6 p.m. right now on Sunday. It's October 11th. Basically, like, my week's been pretty standard. What I've been doing lately on Sundays is going to the local, geek hangout and playing games with my friends. And, this week, we were there during the local sports team's football game, which means that they were giving free shots during the game whenever our team scored a touchdown. So I am a little bit buzzed. Our team is the Packers, and they played at noon. So, but they scored 4 times because they've been doing awesome. They're 5-0 right now. So I might be just a little bit buzzed. So if I seem different, that's why. Yeah. So how have you guys been? I hope you've been good. I hope that it's been a good week for you guys. I'm also kind of playing with the lighting and stuff. Last week I was sitting that way on the couch, and I'm sitting on a different couch now. Behind me is the kitchen, and then over there is a closet that normally has a door. But the door's been silly lately, and so it doesn't have a door. It's where we keep all our dog stuff, like food and crap. So I'm switching it up because directly in front of me is my window, and so I'm hoping that it's still kind of dark out. It gets really dark really early in the winter in Wisconsin. So I'm kind of hoping that all the light. I'm kind of looking at the screen and being like, okay, it looks okay right now. So hopefully everything's good and people can see me and hear me and like what they see and hear. So without further ado, I'll go into the knitting stuff. And then afterwards I'll talk about more life things. So I guess right now we should probably start it out with, what do you think? What's in orbit? That would be my works in progress. Right now it is Sunday, October 11th, which is the last day of Spinzilla. So I am working on everything that would be going on for Spinzilla. Which means that since I was out of the house today, I brought my spindle with because my wheel is not portable. This is an art bat. It's Wild Onion, which I don't think they have really a store. They kind of sell randomly on the internet. And I got this for 2014 Tour de Fleece, and it's just a random blend of fibers. I have no idea what's in this, and I heard recently that that's actually against FDA rules. You can't sell things that don't have a list. Maybe there was a list, but I don't remember there being one. And I was looking in my history, in threads on Ravelry and my emails, and I couldn't find a list of what's in this. So it's just a mystery art bat, and I'll just hold it up. Basically, I'm sure there's some merino in there. I think that there's sparkle and God knows what else. I don't know. Maybe some silk. Who knows? It's an art bat, and I don't know what's in it. But it's really, really good for spinning really thick, as I will probably show you in the finished objects section. I've kind of been with these art bats. It's kind of like one of those things where if you buy an art bat, you really have to be oh, the fiber's going to do whatever it wants, and I'm just going to, go ahead and spin it. You can't just be I want this to be this. You can't be that way with art bats. So, I mean, you can, but good luck. I tried to do that once. It didn't go well. I won't recommend it. So I'm really happy with how this is turning out, and this is what I've spun literally only today. So it's been pretty crazy. This is what I was spinning at local geek hangout while I was watching football and playing games. Yay! My other whip is also Spinzilla related. I have this, which is a full bobbin. I mean, it's not full, but it's 2 ounces. It's half of what is part of a gradient braid. If you look at my fiber stash, I have this gradient braid that's like Wild Hair, Fiber Studios. It's 100% wool. God knows what kind of wool that is. By which I mean nobody knows what kind of wool this is. It's a gradient. It goes from blue to brown to a different brown to a different brown to a different brown. So there's like 3 different browns in a blue. The colorway is brown coat. It's a firefly themed colorway. So I'm pretty happy with how it's spinning up. I'm shooting for a 2-ply fingering weight. I'm spinning this on my wheel, hence the bobbin. This I'm spinning on a spindle, hence the spindle. This is my portable work in progress. This is not, because my wheel is a Kromsky Polonaise and it is not portable at all. So I don't take that places with me. This is, it's 100% wool, and it will hopefully be a 2-ply fingering. If it's between 300 yards and 500 yards, I will be perfectly happy with it. I'm not going to complain too much. I think that's pretty true to color right there. As you see on this side, there's my finger. This side, it's like got a more honey color. I would grab my wheel and bring it over here, but it's kind of not portable, as I said. So it just stays where I put it, and I don't look at it funny, and it acts proper. So that's all I'm going to do. So that's what I've got in progress right now, and I'm hoping to finish those both by the end of the night, because I think I can do it. Right now I'm probably on this one. This is half of what I'm doing, because I'm doing a 2-ply. So basically what that means is I'm going to have 2 bobbins, and I'm going to ply them together, and this is 1 bobbin. And the other bobbin is like half full. So I'm going to have 2, so I'm 3/4 of the way done, and then I'm plying. It's not going to be a big deal. Yeah. So, that I'm hoping to finish tonight. I probably maybe have like 3 or 4 hours left to go on that. It's 6 p.m. Maybe I can do it. I don't know. We'll see. This should be really quick spin because I'm spinning it so thick. I'm shooting for a 1-ply like worsted weight, maybe heavier if I can. I have a hard time spinning really thick, but yeah. So hopefully, I'm hoping to finish most of that tonight, if not all of it, because it's Spinzilla, and I'd like to add more to my yardage. Probably should not be podcasting right now, but whatever. I think that personally right now I'm not prioritizing my Spinzilla yardage. I don't like prioritizing Spinzilla above all else because just messes with my schedule. It makes it hard for me to get back into things if I skip things because of Spinzilla. So that's what's going on there. I also have a whip. I think I mentioned this last week. It's my Metamorphosis cardigan. It's a finger and weight cardigan that was in the UFO spotlight. This is what the back looks like. Basically, what I've been working on is the sleeve, the first sleeve. So I've got a ton of sleeve. That's a pretty accurate, I think that's a pretty accurate color. As in really, really glowing blue. So I think I've got like down to here-ish, somewhere in here on the sleeve. Then I've got like obviously a second sleeve, and then I've got a button band and buttons to do. I was also thinking, because I have a really hard time not having like holes in my sleeves, because I work a desk job, and that means lots of elbows on the desks, and that means that sleeves wear out fast. I was going to I was going to do some needle felting and grab some random wool and like needle felt it on the elbow. And then hopefully that'll like help the length of life that if I'm rubbing like a felted patch of wool on the desk, it won't destroy the sleeves. So that's the plan, but it's going really well. It's just literally stockinette at this point. I've finished all the sleeve decreases. The sleeves are pretty tight. Like, I'm getting the medium size, and it's going to be bigger than it normally would on the B. Like, the sweater size is going to be bigger than a normal sweater would fit me, like a store-bought sweater would fit me, because the bust is a little larger. But, like, the sleeves are really tight. If I went back in time, I would maybe loosen up the sleeves. I was thinking about doing it. The sleeves fit me really well if I am wearing a sleeveless top, but if I'm wearing sleeves, it doesn't fit me so well. So I think it's just gonna be like a summer, like I'm inside and there's air conditioning sweater. I think my dog might be coming in. Just so you know, my dog's on a walk right now with my fiance. So anyway, the idea is that this sweater will get done hopefully this month. Hopefully. I really like the back. I really love that. I think it's really cool. So I'm hoping that it's called the Metamorphosis cardigan. And my project is like Escher's Devouring Blue, because this blue is like insane. See how insane that blue is? Like that's a realistic color. It's like insane. It eats everything. So anyway, I'm really happy with how it's turning out. I really like it. And that's what I've been working on lately. I've been working on my spinning when I can, and when I can't work on spinning, I work on this sleeve, because it's literally just stockinette. I can throw it in my lap and just work on it without distracting anybody too much. I feel like with spinning, spindle spinning's really portable, but you're like waving your arms around, and there's like stuff going on, and people are like, what's she doing? So anyway, there's that. I was going to spotlight one of my UFOs, which is one of my unfinished objects. My UFO is a weaving project. I took a weaving class in 2015. The idea is that I got good enough at spinning that I feel like I don't need to take any more instructional courses on spinning. So I decided to take a course on weaving. And I'm in the process of warping my loom. I actually have a floor loom, and it's insane. My first weaving project is like towels, dish towels, and I really like to do more of that, but I don't have any cotton right now. So I'm trying to warp my loom with wool, and I've heard that wool is stretchy, so you have to warp it differently than you normally would. I have project page pictures of how far I am. I'm not going to show it because I can't like drag my loom out here, because it's like less portable than my spinning wheel. And I have like a huge, I think it's a shocked like 30 something, I think it's actually a 36-inch like weaving area floor loom. And so it's like 3 feet, it's like 4 feet by 3 feet by 5 feet, like the weaving, the size of the thing. It's huge. It's insane. So if I come back sometime on the podcast, I'm like, by the way, I finished weaving a scarf. Yay! That's where that came from. It's kind of in UFO land right now, because I started it in, I think, June. And it hasn't been finished yet. So it's just hard to find time to work on it. Hi, Kepler. Yes. Yeah, my dog has to come say hi when he comes back from his walks. So anyway, that's what's going on with my things that I should be working on but aren't. I have some finished objects for Spinzilla. And do you need anything? Okay. Fiance was looking at me. Didn't know if he needed something. So I have a bunch of finished objects for Spinzilla. They're all spinning finished objects. Yeah. So I'm really, really happy with all of them. I think that I finished a lot more than I expected to during Spinzilla, and I've got even more on the agenda to finish. Obviously, I've got 2 things that are whips that I'm hoping will be finished objects. One of the things that I finished, I should do this in order of how I finished up them. I finished this, which is a 2-ply. The blend is CVM, which is California Variegated Mutant, and Alpaca. and it's both Surrey and Huakai alpaca. I did a 2-ply like DK weight for this. It's like 110 yards and like 50 some grams. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think that it has like the rustic handspun look and also is relatively consistent, so you could use it for a project. I'm sending this to a swap buddy. Yeah, Kepler, you like that? Yeah, Kepler likes it. I'm sending it to a swap buddy. It hasn't, since it's Spinzilla, I've mainly been spinning and not really doing any finishing work. So this still needs to be soaked to ease out the tension. And then I took a picture, but it's not a very great picture. So I'll probably like soak it and then skein it back up and take a picture of it. But it's really soft and it's like kind of fuzzy too. Like it's got like this halo that like mohair has. I think that it might be because of the alpaca and not because of the CVM. But this was a real pleasure to spin. I bought it at a knitting retreat in Des Moines, Iowa, called Sticks and String. And I don't know really the name. I mean, I couldn't find the fiber company anywhere online. But I'm really happy with how it turned out, and it's like really squishy and soft. So that was my first spinning project. My second spinning project was this, which is Dragonfly Fibers Rocky Top. It's really, really dark, and it's really hard to capture. So I need to still soak this and find some time when there's actual sunlight, which might be easier said than done. Let's see if it adjusts. No, it's not going to adjust. Anyway, this is a really dark, like, jewel tone thing. It's like navy, dark emerald green, forest green. Like it's really like it's a Polworth silk. The colorway name, as I said, was Rocky Top. It's Dragonfly Fibers, and it is so squishy. I did a 3-ply, roughly worsted DK-ish. This is also for a handspun swap that I'm participating in. It's so dark. It's this dark in real life too, though. So it's not like my camera's being stupid. It's just that like it's so hard to show off because like you really have to like shine a spotlight on it and be like, I'm gonna show off your colors even if you don't want it. But it's like a dark foresty emerald. It's really gorgeous. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I would enthusiastically knit with something like this. So if I ever need like a single skein of worsted, I might spin it myself because I have a lot in my stash, but I really, really love how squishy it is and awesome. The third thing I spun this week is this, which I wasn't planning on spinning it so thick, but I spun this as like a 2-ply bulky. And this was only a 3.5 ounce braid. So it ended up being like 54 yards and 77 grams. But that's okay with me because I was going to use this as a contrasting color for I have this yarn that's Misty Alpaca Chunky, that's 100% baby alpaca, and I was going to use that for a sweater, and this is actually really similar in ply structure to the Misty Alpaca, which is what I was going for. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. The blend it's Hilltop Cloud is the brand name. The blend's name is Osprey. It's a gray color, and the blend is 40% merino, 20% BFL, 20% Gotland, and 20% Rami, R-A-M-I-E. It's a cellulose fiber when I looked it up, and it kind of gives it a little bit more drape. So I think it'll be really perfect to use in conjunction with the alpaca. It's very, very soft, and it was really a really fast spin. I think I did this in one night after I applied the Dragonfly Fibers. So it went super fast. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and hopefully, like, I was planning on knitting the sweater with the Misty Alpaca really soon, like this fall. So hopefully you'll see this worked up into a finished object. The pattern I was going to use this for calls for 80 yards of contrasting color. I'm not worried about using this even though it's 54 yards because the pattern says like knit, the contrasting color is used for the collar, and the pattern says like knit this until it's the length you want it. So basically I could just knit this until I run out and then just be done. So it shouldn't be a big deal. The fourth thing I finished is the same bat that I was working on today. I finished 2 ounces of that bat and I've spun it into a single ply. It's about an Aran weight. It's I think it's like somewhere around 100 and some yards. I don't know. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think that I wanted to use this as an accent color on something. It's got like a ton of sparkle in it. I don't know if it's showing up. Yeah, there you go. Got some. It's like gray and like a steely blue and sparkle, and I was hoping to use it for a contrasting color. I have my own pattern that I've made several times before that I haven't ever written up because I need to test knit it and translate it from Sarah brain to other people brain. And so I was going to use this as the accent color in that hat pattern. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so those are my finished objects. I've got 4 of them, so I'm pretty impressed with myself. But it's Spinzilla, so basically I've been doing spinning, and I've been pretty fast at spinning lately, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's talk about what's on the launch pad. My needle adjacent projects. I've got a couple things that I may start working on. One is I need to swatch for that sweater, but I'll probably just swatch for that, so I'll talk about that next week on my naps. I don't want to talk about that now because I don't know a lot about it. I know like the pattern and stuff, but I don't know like all the information you get from swatching. So I need to swatch that. I've got a test knit cowl though that I was hoping to knit sometime between this weekend and when I record next week. So I'd like to talk about that. I'm test knitting a cowl and it uses some I think slip stitch cable things. A friend of mine has designed the cowl and I was going to test knit it. So these are the colors I picked. This one is actually hand spun by me in a similar manner to the blue ones I've been showing. It's a single ply and it's like crazy colors. It's like a purple bat of the same flavor that the blue bat that I've been spinning is. So it's pretty legit. This one is a worsted weight that I bought. It is OMG yarn, which is here out of Chicago, or out of Milwaukee. And this is in it's OMG Liberty, the Liberty base, 100% superwash merino, and it's the colorway Romulan Ale. So that's pretty awesome because I'm a Trekkie. So I love that. So I think these two go really well together. There's like a teal in this one that goes really well with this one. So I think this will be really cool. The way the cowl's going to knit up is this is going to be kind of like the background color. And this is going to be like a stained glass structuring around it. So I think this is going to frame this one. And so I think it'll be really good coupling. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about is that nobody I know actually likes this color combination. I mean, I like the colors. It's not something I would wear. I tend to wear more neutral stuff. My sister really likes this color combination, but she doesn't wear cowls, and this is going to be a cowl. So I really don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. But I'm going to have fun knitting it. So hopefully I'll find somebody who wants it or who I can sell it to. One of those. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, I'm never gonna sell this because it's mine, it's my baby. If somebody wants to give me money for something that I don't want, I'm okay with taking their money. I usually don't look out for commissions because it's not usually worth my time to go out of my way to make something. But if I make something because I enjoy making it and somebody wants to buy it off me, I'm not going to be like, oh, but it's mine. I don't usually do that. So, not that I'm criticizing people who have an emotional attachment to their finished objects, because I totally understand that. I just really don't all the time. Some of my finished objects I do, even if I don't like them as much, I am attached to them. I feel like I'm going into this knowing that these two aren't my style and being okay with selling them. So that's a thing. The other needle adjacent project I have is I'm going to cast on the stained MCal, which is Mystery Knit Along. It's by Josh Ricks, and I don't know what it's going to be like. I picked up my yarn. It's in the thread. I'm going with like a. I'm having trouble deciding which one's going to be color A and color B though, because my lighter color doesn't seem like a. My lighter color is like a green, and it doesn't seem like it would be a good framing color. But the other color I'm going to knit with is like, it's variegated, but it's like a really dark color, which to me seems like a framing color. So I don't really know what I'm going to do. I might flip a coin. But anyway, the clue came out today actually. So basically my plan tonight is I'm going to like spin the rest of the Spinzilla stuff and then probably sleep because I'll probably be done with today by the time I finish that. But my plan kind of this week is going to be like Spinzilla stuff, and then Testnet Cowl, and then Mystery Cal, and then I don't know, maybe more Metamorphosis cardigan. So yeah, I guess we'll see. I should have all those to talk about next week. So that's kind of where I'm at on the launch pad. I had a couple of things to talk about otherwise, but that's mostly what I'm working on knitting wise. My product spotlight, I actually found, I think I kind of jinxed myself. Last week I was like, oh man, I really haven't had time to look for podcasts and I don't really know of any. One of the viewers of my podcast actually has a podcast. And so she was talking about, I knew she had stitch markers. Her Ravelry name is Anne Fran, and she has the Left Field Knits podcast. And I knew that she had a stitch marker store because I've seen her stitch markers promoted on other podcasts. I haven't actually used them because like I have a ton of stitch markers right now and haven't bought any more in a while. But when I buy new stitch markers, I'll probably check her out. But anyway, she has a podcast, and I didn't know that until last week. She was talking about podcast lighting, and so I checked her out, and I think she's from North Carolina, and she has like the most delightful like Southern accent. I usually don't get to experience a lot of that accent because I'm from Wisconsin, and so like I have like the newscaster's accent, and sometimes people will be like, "Oh, you sound like a total Norwegian," because I say things like "board" and like "milk" and like that sort of stuff. So sometimes people pick on me for my accent, but like I usually don't hear a lot of southern accents unless I'm in the South, and so it's really neat to hear her talk about that. But she has really, really, I think her podcasts are really neat because they're like kind of short. They're like 20 minutes long, and I find that like most podcasters, like myself and most of the ones I watch, end up being around 40 minutes. So like sometimes it can be kind of hard to watch all that in one go. Like I try to, but like sometimes I just can't sit down for 40 minutes and watch something. So it's really nice to have like some of the 20-minute podcasts to go to, and I really like Anne's podcast for that. She's got really neat finished objects, and she gives really detailed explanations of what she's working on. She tells like the needle size and the yarn consistently and really well. Some of the other podcasters I watch get really excited about what they're working on, and then just like, yay, this! And I know sometimes I fall into that too. I don't always like be like, yes, this is the yarn I'm using, this is the needle size I'm using. But she's really detailed and really organized, and so if you're into that, if you're into like getting inspiration from other people and knowing what they're doing, I think she'd be a really good option. So you should totally check that out. That's the Left Field Knits podcast, or LFK. Or you can just like go into the podcast thread and click on Anne's name and go there. She's Anne Fran on Ravelry, so I'm sure you can find her. The other thing I was going to talk about is NaNoSwimo, which is National Knit Sweater Month. I'll probably start that thread like tomorrow, tonight. I don't know. I might be working on Spinzilla tonight, but I'll start soon. In the next couple days, I'll start it. And I'd like to like kind of get it so that like I'd like to allow whips, because I feel like all of us have whips, or a lot of us have whips, and it gets hard to motivate yourself to complete whips when there's so many new shiny things. So I'd like to do whips, allow whips. I'd like to allow any size sweater. Don't care if it's a Christmas ornament. Don't care if it's a baby sweater. Just go for it. I'd say that boleros, boleros, are allowed. I will probably not allow shawls, vests, definitely. Basically something that is worn over the torso and or arms that like count. Like it looks like a sweater. I don't know. I'll be totally arbitrary and strike down my gavel on things that are and aren't. So just ask, I guess, if you have doubts. But I'd like to be pretty widely accepting of things because, like probably ponchos I'll probably allow just because, but not shawls because they're open front. They're. How about this? No, that's not a good rule. I was going to say, like, if you can wear it with nothing under it, that's a go. But then that doesn't allow boleros because, yeah, I wouldn't wear that with nothing under it. But I'll be totally arbitrary, and if you make a good argument for why yours should be accepted, I'll accept it. Basically, like, Nana Swamo itself, like, has a group, but they're, like, super hardcore. They're, like, it has to be knit in November. It has to be started and finished in November. It has to be 50,000 stitches. I mean, that's not really that many. And it has to be a sweater. That's not that many rules, but, like, for a lot of us, that's not enough. I know that personally I'm going to be knitting sweaters well into December. This month I'm going to finish the sweater. Next month and the month after, I'm going to do a Nana Swemo sweater. And I'm also going to do a different sweater. So, like, it's winter. It's sweater weather. Let's just knit as many as we can, right? So I think that, like, my Nana Swemo sweater along is probably going to be, like, a sweater along for the rest of us. It's kind of, maybe not as strict as the other ones, but I think that'll help more than it will do anything else. So if you guys have anything that you were like, well, I really want to participate in this sweater along, but you don't accept this, just throw it out there, and I can make a ruling as to whether it's fair. I feel like if I'm accepting baby sweaters, I probably am not going to be super strict on the amount of work that goes into it. I just would really like it to be kind of sweater shaped and perform the same functions as a sweater, like keeping you warm in winter more than shawls would. I have nothing against shawls. It's just that you can't wear really shawls as your only source of warmth in a Wisconsin winter. So there's that. Yeah. So that's my plan in terms of administrative stuff and mission control. I don't really have a lot of other administrative stuff to do because I don't have cows to administer yet because I only just started getting back into this. But again, I'd like to put a call out if you guys have objections to the way I do my format, or like feedback on the lighting or how I talk or anything, or if you can't hear me or if you can't see me, please let me know, because I want to make this like user friendly. I think a lot of people tend to just not consume a product instead of like actually giving feedback on it. So if you could give feedback, that would be awesome. Not that I am putting myself out there just as a product to consume. I'm not really profiting off of this. I like talking, obviously, as any of my friends will attest to. I like talking. I like talking about knitting. I like interacting with the knitting community. And I feel like I have a really, like, basically I'm podcasting because I feel like I have a really close connection to other knitters who podcast. And I'd like other people to get a chance to have some idea what's going on in my life, where they might not otherwise. So if you guys have, like, feedback like, oh, I'd love to watch your podcast, except this one small thing that you could easily change, I would gladly change that. I mean, I don't have a ton of money to throw at this because it's not really a source of profit for me, but Yeah, if people are like, oh, I'd love to watch you, except your webcam is utter crap and you need to get a new one, just let me know and I'll look into it for sure. I know that Anne Fran had a really great suggestion about like the type of lighting. Like she has an light, I guess, and that's really awesome. So I need to look into that. I don't have one right now, and I haven't gone shopping lately, but I'm gonna have to look into that for sure. So I appreciate suggestions like that. If anybody is something they want to care about or whatever. So I guess my next category is life support. So things that are going on in life. Let's see, space news. Trying to think. Oh, NASA put out a call for submissions to it's kind of a contest. It's basically if you write a report on, I guess you can look at their website, but it's basically they're looking for for ways to use the material that's already on, a planet, another object like the moon or Mars. They're looking for ways to use like in situ material like the regolith or basalt. I looked at the report requirements and they're kind of involved and intense. Like if you don't have an engineering degree, you might look at it and be like, no, thanks. But yeah, I mean, definitely check into that. If you know how to do like a free body diagram and if you have an idea, I get the cash prize for first place is like only $10,000, which it might be a lot if you're a student, but if you're a professional in engineering, it's not really enough to incentivize people to do work. So I'm kind of optimistic about it personally because I've got ideas and I feel like a lot of people won't do any work toward it. So I think that if you have an idea and you can do some math, you should be able to get an idea. Basically, I'm trying to think if there's a name for the. I shared it on my Facebook page. I can link to it too. I'm trying to find it on my phone. It's request number 9160136. Converting in situ materials on a planet to support exploration. First prize is $10,000. There's two $2,500 second prizes. Published announcements. Entries due by December 3rd at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Announcements in January. Yeah. So basically, they're looking for people to propose a system that will convert in situ materials into interlocking structural elements for construction that could support exploration on a planet. So yeah, so if you guys have any interesting ideas, are super interested in space and got the math knowledge and really want to put together a proposal, go for it. I've got an idea and I think it will flesh out well. I'm not saying I will win by any means, but I think I have an okay chance at getting the prize. But I guess we'll see. I mean, my degree's in aerospace, so who knows? That's what's going on space-wise. In other life news, I'm trying to think. Tomorrow I'm going to a concert. It's in Chicago. It's at Schuba's. It's a Dunion concert, which is a Swedish band, and they sing in Swedish. And I know about them because my fiance is a linguist and knows Swedish and likes to listen to them to practice his Swedish. Today I played board games, and that was fun. I went to a local geek establishment, 42 Ale House, and they have really excellent food, really excellent alcoholic beverages, and really excellent just in general everything. They have a game library, they have TVs, and they'll turn them to whatever you want to watch. Highly recommended if you're in the Milwaukee area. You should totally check them out. They also have a downtown location, which is the lounge, and it's more bar-y. The Ale House is more like a restaurant / hangout. I think that's about it. I don't think I did anything else really of note this week aside from Spinzilla. My internet got upgraded, which I mentioned last week. It's been kind of on and off okay. I might still upgrade it myself, depending on how well things go this next month. I've had some instances where I can watch Netflix, for instance, without a hitch. And I've had some instances where it's like stops to load every minute and it's kind of a hassle. So, I mean, that's literally just has to do with the fact that I live in a complex with a number of other humans who make decisions about how much they want to stream. So, I guess we'll see. But in the meantime, it's good enough. So I guess we'll see how it goes. I hope you had an amazing week, and I hope that you're interested in what I'm doing here, and that you got a lot done while watching my podcast. I hope that you get to look into NASA stuff and what's going on in space. And I'll talk to y'all next week.